I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
I have a dream. My poor little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Words change the world. Think about MLK, JFK, and FDR. They stopped and started wars, sparked self-respect, and molded a nation. Words are arguably the single greatest strength of the human species. They are the building blocks of language and therefore the building blocks of change. Their power is profound. Shakespeare inspires us 800 years after his death. Winston Churchill saved the country and the continent. MLK brought us civil rights. JFK took us to the moon. And FDR ended the Depression. You have something equally important to say. We know you do. And deep down, you know you do too. You don't need to be famous or a future chapter in a history book to change the world in your own lane. There are people that can benefit from your knowledge and your wisdom, and they need to hear your message. Getting your message published has never been easier. Unfortunately, actually getting your message heard is more challenging than it has ever been. You need a great message. But you also need to break through the clutter and noise that clouds the information age. That's where we come in. We don't let great messages die. Bring us your message, and we will make it matter in this world. We will help shine the spotlight on them. We will help you craft your words, polish them, and provide the framework and methodology you need to get on the right stages so that your message can be heard by the people that need to hear. We make sure you have a platform for your message because your message has the power to transform the world. So we ask you, are you ready to share your message with the world? Are you ready to make a lasting impact? Do you have the courage to change people's lives? What chapter will you add to the story that is the human experience? Write that chapter. Welcome to the Your Message Matters Bootcamp.
If you make the right kind of a change, a right kind of a shift, you're going to become better because as a leader, and the people around you are going to become better because of that.
They say resistance to a new idea is multiplied by the square root of its importance.
How do I build my platform so nobody can tell me what to do with my time, with my health, with my family, with my decisions ever again? Because I want to be free.
Most people simply never overcome their obstacles and their barriers. Most people starve between the idea and the execution. You starve, you take so long to get to execution. The big companies die because they start adding time. The entrepreneur says, I'm gonna have an idea and I'm gonna monetize it.
I only have one measure of success. My measure of success is not that you would get a standing ovation, although I think you will. My measure of success is that the audience will want to engage with you after the presentation.
Number one thing that I want you to know is most successful entrepreneurs have many different marketing strategies. They all have one in common, and is that they are profound, powerful, competent communicators.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Your Message Matters Bootcamp. Make some noise in the chat. Get excited. This is it. This is the day we have been waiting for, because today Today we start a journey. Today we start a journey to get your message out to the world. Today we start the journey to have your voice heard. And today we start the journey that is going to change your future, not just for this generation, but for generations to come. And so welcome, you are in the right place. This is the Your Message Matters Bootcamp. I am Pat Quinn, your MC for today, and I'm so excited that you are here because I know that you have a message inside of you. I know that you have something inside of you that is burning to get out to the world, and what you need is to learn how to help get that message out to the world, how to reach more people, how to communicate effectively, how to live into your purpose, and you are in the right place. Today and all this week, we are going to be joining you at this very time. At this very time, set your clock, set your alarm, set your calendar to meet us here every day at this very time, because we are going to walk you step by step through this journey. We've got amazing guests. We've got amazing stuff happening and scheduled for you. I can't wait to get started. You are in the right place. On a scale of 1 to 10, drop into the chat. How excited are you for the Your Message Matters Bootcamp? We are excited. I see 10s. I see 15s. I see, holy cow, I see 1,000. 10,000. There's no limit to how high we can go. This is the Your Message Matters Bootcamp. I am Pat Quinn. I'm excited that you are here today. And I want to tell you, we've got some special guests lined up this week, some guests that are going to rock your world, not only with how driven they are to achieve their purpose and get their message out to the world, but also with the content that they're going to deliver, the strategies that they're going to give you so that you can reach more people, monetize your message, and have a greater impact on this world. And so I'm excited that you are here. We've got some housekeeping to get started with. And the first thing is, if you haven't upgraded to VIP yet, what are you waiting for? VIP is got so much value. You can do it at advanceyourreach.com. VIP, just scan the QR code in the lower right-hand corner. You get a replay of the bootcamp, recordings of the whole thing. You get to stay after each day and have a VIP Q&A session. Our guest today is going to blow your socks off. Our special guest today is going to stick around in the VIP room to take questions from you right after I finish interviewing him. And I'm telling you, he's going to blow you away. It is going to be a life-changing experience today. You are in the right place. Plus, you get the Your Message Matters cheat sheet, all of this value. Go to advanceyourreach.com. It's not too late to sign up for VIP. And I'm telling you, you are going to want to be backstage at the end today to see the Q&A. You're going to want to be part of the Q&A. You're going to want to be able to ask questions each and every day of our special guests, and that's the VIP upgrade. If you are a VIP, you've already bought VIP, when we end today, just stay right in this room. Don't check out. Just stay right in this room, and the Q&A will start right here. You're already in the VIP room, and so you're in the right place. Just stay right where you are. Stick around when we wrap up today, and you'll be here for the open Q&A with our guests, with myself, with Pete Vargas. The whole thing's going to happen. It's going to be awesome. Now, every day we're going to have great prizes as well. And so just by showing up, you're going to have a chance to win great prizes. We've got a lighting kit for you. We've got a brand new iPhone 16. We've got an webcam, an Apple Watch 10. We've got fabulous prizes for you. And so show up every day. You do not want to miss a single day of the Your Message Matters Bootcamp. It is, mark it on your calendar, block off everything. And why don't we just do that right now? Why don't you just silence your phones? Why don't you just close the door? Why don't you just be present for the next hour or so that we have an opportunity to change your world forever? I am going to introduce to you now somebody who has changed my life forever. It was almost 10 years ago now that I was invited to his very first event. And I sat in a room with 27 people at the Broadmoor Hotel in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I remember going up to my hotel room after the first night of the event, so excited, so excited. I called my wife and I said these words: "This changes everything." Because what I had learned that day at that event changed everything. I said to her, these guys think on a whole different level. I'm going to reach more people in my lifetime. I'm going to get my message out to the world. I'm going to live the purpose that I was put on earth here to live. And all of that was because of the vision of one person. All of that was because of the purpose of one man. All that was because of the giving nature of him. And so I want you to make a huge noise, light up that chat, let everyone in the chat know how much you love the person I'm going to introduce right now. Make some noise. He is the one. It is Mr. Pete Vargas.
Pete is going to show you the fast way. He is going to give you his blueprint. Had I known this at 29 years old, I would have made hundreds of millions of dollars in my 30s. Had I known it when I was 50, I would have made billions. And it would have allowed me, more importantly, to spend more time with my family and improve the quality of my life.
So a road without traffic is useless. So I need you to get traffic.
After spending a few days with Pete, my close ratio went from 18% to one of the highest close ratios in GrowthCon history at 43% of the audience.
I've learned a lot from you. I've learned how to leverage an audience. I know that I have to get on more stages so that I'm comfortable and I can own myself, my power, the capacity or the ability to influence others.
He makes us better. He makes us a lot better. And Pete, we're so glad to have you on the team. I try to get around people that are bigger, faster, smarter than me, and Pete's one of them. We're going to develop a whole Pete Vargas fan club.
I'm in.
And I'll be the president.
So it's like what you just did with your seminar, Pete. You know, spectacular. Heck, I'm looking to learn from you.
Pete Vargas. Oh my gosh. We had a whole bunch of people go to his events, loved them, and they got great actionable steps that massively transformed their businesses.
This man right here is just one of a kind. I don't allow a lot of new people into my circle in my life. But right when I met this man, I said, Lord, thank you for delivering him into my life. He's special. He's unique. He's the right person for me in my life.
The guy cares about changing people's lives. It's why we connected. I love the guy. He's got a huge heart, and he creates incredible products and services to help fuel the world.
I knew from your track record that you could take me where I couldn't take myself.
He shared with us this idea of using other people's stages. It was so intuitively obvious when he talked about it. I slapped my forehead and go, why didn't we think of this before?
They'll help you craft your passion in a way that will resonate emotionally with people where they will take action.
Pete has made me so much money this year. The guy is an absolute Wizard of Oz.
No one knows how to build a platform better than you. Some of the greatest speakers, presenters, influencers in the world, you have helped them.
I trust Pete Vargas more than I trust anyone else in the speaking world.
I'm gonna show you how to build your own stages and how to get your message on other people's stages.
Pete has built one of the most amazing bench teams in the industry, and that's how we're able to impact so many people's lives. Do everything that Pete is telling you to do.
I just finished my one day with Pete. We got so much done. Man, I'm so grateful. And this is long overdue. I should have signed up with you, worked with you 5 years ago.
You guys have no idea what kind of man Pete Vargas is and how he leverages so much of the blessings that he has in his life to bring forth change to you.
Who wants attention? Who wants more customers? Who wants to position their brand to another level?
You stir me up, man. You get me going because we need those people in our lives, man.
Pete Vargas!
Let's go, everybody. Let's go. How you guys doing? Everybody good? I see Piper. Come on, tell me where you're chiming in from today. We have 2,500 people that have paid to be a part of this boot camp this week. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because this week is going to change your life. This week is going to change your life. I see you guys all over, a lot of United States, Australia. Thank you for being here, Gary Ryan from Australia. Ursula, I see you. Florida, Denver, South India, wow, Canada, New Jersey, Houston, Pennsylvania, Arkansas. We got people from everywhere. Let me start by telling you something that is probably the most important thing that I'm going to tell you. The message and story that lives inside of you has to get out to the world on a bigger scale. You might just be starting your business today. You might have a business that feels stalled or stuck, or you might have a business that's knocking it out of the park. But the whole purpose of these 5 days is to get that message, that story, your business, your company, your movement, your whatever you're representing here out to the world on a big scale. And here's what I want to tell you. You're not going to have a few pieces of the puzzle this week. You will have the entire puzzle laid out in front of you. In front of you. I promise. I want to know something. I want to know something in the chat right now. What had you sign up to be a part of this? Why did you sign up? I want to know in the chat. I want to know. Don't worry, all of the bonuses are going to be coming. No, but why did you sign up? I'm not saying who told you about it. Why? Freedom, God's will. I'm ready to tell my story. Your integrity. Wow. You know how to get us there. I want to make a difference. John Maxwell. Honestly, I reluctantly signed up to expand our franchise. Pete's message at IMC, to share my story. John Maxwell, yeah, I can't wait for him to be in the house tomorrow. We got to line up this week. Lord knows I need to implement this. Tamara, thank you. For Pete Vargas. Now, here's the second question, and I'm going to ask you, and Gary, I see you from Australia, 4 a.m., still up. Maybe you haven't gone to sleep. Maybe you're up early. But I can see all of our paid attendees. All of our paid attendees I can see. My second question is, what is your intention for this week? 5 days, 60 to 90 minutes a day will change your life. My intention is a boatload of messages to get out into this world on a bigger scale like never before. My intention is exponential. I can only do so much. But through you, I can do a whole lot more. Through you, I can do a whole lot more. And so today, the boot camp kick starts. What's your intention? I want to know everybody's. The boot camp starts today. It starts today. So what are we going to do today? I'm going to show you the whole roadmap of the week, and you're going to be like, wow. What are we going to do today? The thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the entire framework of the week and then dive into the first part of the framework hardcore. But as we dive into the entire framework to start today, I need you to audit yourself and ask yourself the question, what can I do in this piece of the framework to be better? What do I need to do to be better in 2025? So you're going to audit and you're going to ask yourself the question, what is it that I need to do to be better? And you're going to do that in all 4 parts of the framework today. And then we're going to go deep into one of the parts of the framework. And then in day 2, the second part of the framework. Day 3, the third part of the framework. Day 4, the fourth part of the framework. And Saturday might be the most important day because not only are we going to recap the entire week, if we're auditing and making a decision today of what we need to do to get better, and we teach you today, we teach you tomorrow, we teach you Thursday, we teach you Friday, Saturday, write this in the chat, becomes commitment day. Saturday becomes commitment day. You're going to know the gap is going to be closed on exactly what you need to do to have the greatest year of your life in 2025. I promise you, there will be nothing that's held back, not a thing. And I can see you, Fred and Bill and Maria. Bob's drinking some coffee right now. Piper's already been my most energetic person. I can see you. I want you energetically to be here. Don't be on your phones. Don't be like, try to be present because 1 hour a day can change your lives. How many have heard, how many have heard me speak? Yes or no? I'm curious. Yes or no? I'm just going to get some yeses, a lot of yeses. Okay. Do we have any stage to scale alumni in the house? Write the word alumni. If you're stage to scale, and if you don't know what stage to scale is, it's what this whole week is about. Alumni, Dietrich. Great. Well, I'm excited to be here, and I'm going to set the tone, and then we're going to get into auditing everything, cover the entire framework of the week, but I'm going to set the tone. Can y'all see my screen okay? Y'all see the sexy Mexican up there? Yeah, the sexy Mexican is up there. So listen, one of the things I want you to know, and I'm going to need you to come around this side and do that. One of the things I want you to know is I'm gonna do this really quickly. Is why do I love stages? Why do I love stages? I had a business degree coming out of college. My pastor called me and said, will you come over and take over as youth pastor in this Nazarene church in Hereford, Texas? I asked him what the pay was. He said $18,000. I have a business job offering in Dallas, Texas for $80,000. I'm like, no way I'm going to take over as this youth pastor. The youth group was falling apart. It's where I came to know my faith in God, and he knew that I would come back and love on kids. But I was wrestling with the decision. Some of you wrestled with the decision to be here this week. Anybody wrestle like, should I do this? Should I not? If you didn't, don't say it, but who wrestled? Write the word wrestle. I wrestled with the decision. And I knew I was supposed to go back to that church. I knew it. And so I took over as youth pastor. And my first Wednesday night, these are the three girls that were there: Stacy, Jory, and Mackenzie. And I looked at those three girls and I said, listen, I am going to bring in speakers to the youth group that people will want to hear from. Your job is to get the kids in the auditorium. My job is to get the speakers. If you get them in the auditorium, we will change this community. It was a high teenage pregnancy rate, high suicide rate, very depressed area. I said, you three can help me change it. And those three got behind me. And they did that. And in the next several years, I brought in speakers. Here's a question for you. Can you tell me one speaker on that board? Can you tell me one? If you can, name it in the chat. And no, the guy right here is not George Bush. Can you tell me one? I want to see if anybody can name one. Look at how empty the chat is. No, not Reba. No, there's nobody up there that you will know. These were people who had powerful messages, powerful stories, but the world did not know them. Did not know them. That's a shame. That's called the best kept secret. Can I ask you a question? Do any of you feel like a best kept secret today? Like, man, if people heard my story, heard my message, write best kept secret. If you feel like a best kept secret, write it down. I want you to put best kept secret. Because you know what? That's not okay anymore. This boot camp is about to change that. And if you're kind of known, it's about to change that. And if you're really known, it's still going to change that. And so all of these speakers most of these speakers are no longer best kept secrets. Why do you think that is? Not me. A proven system. One of the most important parts that I'm going to talk about on Thursday of developing the perfect product is you've got to have a proven system. If it's about a personality, Tony Robbins, it's not a proven system. When Tony Robbins isn't here, nobody else can do what he does. That's a personality. One of the most important parts of a product is a proven system. When Pete Vargas is no longer here, Gary, there is still a proven system. So a proven system is what's going to take you from no longer being a best kept secret to being well known. So these speakers came. Check this out. Our youth group grew from 3 kids to 800 kids in a town of 12,000 people. 12,000 people. It was the largest youth group per capita in the United States of America. I told those girls, you get the people in the room. First off, they got behind me and they trusted me. I said, you get the people in the room, we will grow this youth group. Can I tell you something today? Not 3 young teenage girls who wanted to make a change in their community, who wanted to change their community. Can I tell 2,500 of you today? If you will get behind this system that's over 20 years proven, every time you share your story or your message, your youth group won't grow. your business will grow. Your movement will grow. And you will change the world. Do you see how a small little West Texas town of helping change that community has now evolved into my calling of helping people get their message out to the world? This week is not about me. This week is about you being able to reach more people with what you have, just like we did there. Now check this out. One speaker, his daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine back in 1999. My mentor said, you have to bring him in. Nobody knows him, but you have to bring him in. Remember him because there's going to be a closing story with him today. I brought him in. And he talked about his daughter. Homework assignment number 1 today. Homework assignment number 1. If anybody, this will be the biggest homework assignment of the week. I've never done this. I've never done this, team. So team, be ready to respond. At the end, I'm going to show you how to turn in your homework. You're going to have 2 homework assignments today. We will give prizes away to the best homework assignment. Rachel Joy Scott, his daughter, who was the first victim killed at Columbine in 1999, wrote a paper called My Ethics, My Codes of Life. My Ethics, My Codes of Life. And in the middle of this paper, it talks about what she stood for. Team, please bring this on their screens. She said, I have this theory that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, that it'll start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness can go. Rachel Joy Scott stood for compassion and kindness. And her dad shared that message in churches, in schools across the world, but he was struggling for it to last. Homework assignment number 1, I don't want you to write your code of ethics. I want you to write what I stand for. What I stand for. What is it that you're taking a stand for? And if you want to think about it, you can come back on me. If you want to think about it as your code of ethics, you can. But write 1 paragraph of what you stand for. What is the message that you stand for? Who are you fighting for? What are you trying to do to help this world? Team, give a little bit of a framework because they didn't have this as a homework assignment because I've never given this in 10 years of being in business as a homework assignment. And I will read all of them that get submitted. This is the optional homework assignment. There's one that I want everybody to do, but this is going to take a little boldness to do. So he came into our community. He spoke during the day to all of the students. It rocked their worlds in the schools. Tarek, at night, he spoke to all of the parents. I'm 23 years old. My grandmother, my Mexican grandma, took me away from my dad when I was 13 years old because of the abuse that he was doing in my life. Physical, verbal, emotional abuse. And now I'm 23 years old. And we've tried church, we've tried counseling, and all of his family told him that he needed to make things right with me. And nothing made things right. My dad was hard-headed. He was frustrated. He thought it was my fault that I left him when my grandmother took me away from him. And my grandma said, you will never go back to live with him again. 13 years old, and I'm 23 years old. And this man comes and speaks in my church, and my dad's sitting on the back row. And Daryl's final challenge. By the way, great speeches have 3 things. 3 things. I'm about to tell you one of those 3 things. Daryl's final call to action. A call to action is not always a sale. A call to action is how can you make somebody's life better? That's one of 3 things that a great communicator has. Very few communicators have the 3 things that I'm going to talk about in 10 minutes. His final call to action was parents. And I'm curious, how many parents are here? And if you're a parent, how many kids do you have? I always love to see the biggest number of kids. Like, don't tell me like your God kids and your tell me your actual kids. Not grandkids. What's the biggest number, team? Let's go see who the biggest number is. I'm so sorry for the person who's lost 3. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. Let's give a little digital gift to the one with the biggest. It looks like it's Chris right now. Parents, what I'm about to tell you, you can go do with your kids tonight. Daryl said, parents, I had no idea on April 20th, 1999, that it would be the last day that I saw my daughter. He said, you have no idea how much time you have left here on earth with your kids. There's somebody in the chat that said they've lost 3 kids. You want me to tell you my worst nightmare as a father of 4 is for me, one of my kids to go before I go. And Daryl said, I want you to go tell your kids how much you love them tonight. Don't text them, call them, or tell them in person. I hope some of you will take that optional homework assignment tonight too. But then what he said is why we're here today. After that, what he said after that is the reason why we're having this boot camp 20 years later. He said, some of you parents need to go ask for forgiveness for something you've done to your kids. He said, I had to make a decision to forgive the boys that shot my daughter. And had I not, I would have been the one miserable. He said, some of you need to go ask for that forgiveness. The same way I gave those boys forgiveness, you need to go give your kids forgiveness. Well, guess what? My dad went home and he wrote me this letter. And he said, I'm sorry for the father I've been. Here my son has made an impact on hundreds of kids' lives, and I can't have an impact on my only son's life. He asked me for a second chance to get to do things right. And he told me for the first time in a decade that he loved me. Do you want to know why I care about your message? This is not a business. This is a calling. This is a purpose. We have 100,000 customers in hundreds of countries around the world that we're helping get their message out to the world because of a man whose message changed my dad and I's relationship forever. This is my pops at 10X GrowthCon in 2019 in Miami Marlins Stadium, hearing me speak for the very first time. And oh, by the way, in 1 hour speaking, anybody want to guess how many customers or how much revenues I generated in that hour? Take a guess in the chat. Whoever gets it right gets another digital prize. $2 million, Ben. You were absolutely right. 1 hour. A guy who never thought he could make $100,000 just made $2 million in an hour. You know why I'm smiling on that picture. But Kevin, my dad, was crying because I got to talk about the dad he is today, the amazing grandpa he is today. You know why my dad is an amazing dad today? Do not lose track of what I'm about to say. You know why my dad is an amazing dad and an amazing grandpa? Why do you think that is? Write it in the chat. Why do you think my dad is an amazing dad and an amazing grandpa today? Almost. All of that stuff is correct, but who catalysted that stuff? Who was the catalyst? A messenger. A person with a message, a person with a story, communicating that online or offline can completely not only transform people's lives, but land significant amounts of customers. So what did I do? That's you, by the way. That's you. What did I do? I called him. I solicited his cell phone number. I paid for an internet program that could get his cell phone number, 303-910. I won't tell you the last 4, but I could. I said, Daryl, you've got to get this message out to more schools and more churches. He said, I know, Pete, but I don't know how to do it. I said, you found the right guy. Renetta, he found the right guy. I'm 23 years old and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I said, I'm going to figure it out for you. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2003, in 2002, this is his tax forms. He did $150,000 in 2002. In 2003, he did $63,000. Is that going the right way or the wrong way, France? Vicky, is that going the right way or the wrong way? The wrong way. Will you do me a favor? Will you be honest and tell me, what will your revenues be in 2024? Ronnie, I want to know that from you. You're just chill, got those glasses down. I love it. What will your revenues be in 2024? Congratulations, Frank. It's okay, Finnegan. We'll change that. Please write that in the chat. Maybe $5 if lucky. Well, we got to change that. $133,000. Now, I don't want to know wrong way or right way. I want you to tell me, I told you his 2003 number. What's your 2024 number? Because this is what I'm about to speak into existence over every person who's hearing my voice. It's not about 2003. It's about the years to come. It's about the years to come. Yeah, tell me. I want to know. That's your 2003. No, I don't want to know 2025. I'm asking you about 2024. So what did we do? The 4-part system, and team, make sure we always have the 4-part system in between the two there. The 4-part system that we're going to go through. And by the way, teachings that you've never heard from us if you've heard us. You will hear some of the same stuff, but what was working in 2018, 2019, 2021, 2020, 2022 is not working in this crazy year. The teachings are exactly what we did for him. He was our first customer. He was our first client. What this boot camp is all about is what we did for him. And the next few years, he went to $6.5 million. And Brandon, we got to add the total that happened during that time frame too, which was over $40 million. Based on the system that we're going to go through and work on in your business. He was customer 001. I like Carson. He says, thrive in 2025. Let's go. So here's my question. Dr. Keith, I want to know this from you. Coach Elman, I want to know this from you. Colson, I want to know this. Glinda, I want to know this. We talked about your 2024 number. Now I'm going to ask all of you, what do you want to go create in 2025? Write 2025 and tell me what you are targeting in 2025, because on Thursday, we're going to reverse engineer that number in the worksheet and homework assignment that we do on Thursday. We will get you to that number, but we can't get you to that number if you don't make a declaration. And don't be silly and be at 0 this year and say, I'm going to do 20 million next year. I'm not saying it's not possible, but going from 0 to $250,000 will change your life. I went from 0 to 100,000 to 900,000 to 2 million to 4 million to 10 million to 15 million to 20 to 25. And so it took me some time. But what is your 2025 number? Everybody needs to make that declaration right now. You see why we didn't do this free? We've always done this free. We've always done this free. Anybody want to know why we didn't do it free? Because I wanted serious people who are actually going to hit those numbers. Not looky-loos who aren't really committed. Write this down. Do not be a wantrepreneur. A wantrepreneur goes to training after training after training. They never lock down and focus on one proven system. They're trying to get all of the proven systems. And most of the times, those systems only have a piece of the puzzle. Like, I love my friend Russell about building a funnel. But listen, there's a whole lot more than just building a funnel. You have to have an entire system. And they go from system to system to system. They learn, and they never do two things. Choose a mentor, choose a system, and execute. They don't choose three things. They don't choose a mentor, they don't choose a proven system, and they don't execute. So I'm committed to those 2025 numbers. And so why did we do a paid boot camp? Because we wanted serious people. Serious people. If you are committed to hitting that number, I want to see your commitment. I just want you to say, Pete, I am committed to that number. However you want to say that in your own words, because that's what this week is about. Saturday, Grant Cardone is going to be with us on Saturday. I'll tell you every day and every speaker who's going to be here every day. But Grant's going to be here with us on Saturday. Saturday is entitled Commitment Day. Today is audit and how do I need to get better. Saturday, Commitment Day. It's Commitment Day. So check this out. He didn't just generate $40 million. He went from impacting thousands of kids to impacting millions of kids. He saw teen suicide prevented every day and multiple school shootings prevented every single month. It's not just about your message being transformational, nor just about the money. It's about both. You can have the income, you can have the impact. You can have the revenues, you can have the reach. You can make a difference and make money. I want you to have both. Both. So he made a big difference. Daryl Scott did. He was our very first case study. And so here's our BHAG. We want to help you be on 1 million stages, impact 1 billion people, and generate $1 billion. If you don't know what BHAG means, it means big, hairy, audacious goal. And we audit you every year. Since 2018, and you guys can give some love for these numbers, we've audited our students since 2018. They've been on just shy of 1 million stages, already hit that number 5 years early. They've impacted 235 million people. Crap, we got 750 million to go. I need you. And they've generated $2 billion in revenues from those stages. We already hit the billion mark in the 5th year, not the billion, the 2 billion. This system works. Daryl Scott was our first person. But most of our clients were best kept secrets or not known. Yes, we have some big clients. Yeah, all of these people have worked with me one-on-one. If you know, how many people do you know on that list? I want you to look at that list. Bring that list up quickly, guys. How many people do you know on that list? Bring that up on their screen. Most of them, 7 of them, guys, we got to be fast with this team. Most of them. I want you to know what that list has in common. That guy right there. They have all worked with us one-on-one. All of them have worked with us one-on-one. You heard Gary Brecka say my conversion rate went from 18% to 47%. Here's the crazy thing. How many of them do you think have paid us over $1 million in consulting? Even John Maxwell has. Absolutely. We're in great partnership with John Maxwell. I was flying with him a couple of weeks ago as he mentored me. How many of them do you think have paid us over $1 million? No, not all of them. Sharon, you nailed it. 5 of them. Come back to me. 5 of them. 5 of them. Guess what? You didn't have to pay me for these 5 days. If I'd have said, hey, this is a boot camp and it's 5 days and it's $1 million, it would be me and nobody else on the screen. All I did is take what we're going to do this week and help them implement it in their businesses. I can't tell you which 5 have paid me that because that would be, betraying confidentiality, but I can tell you the one who's paid me the most on there. Anybody want to know? Because he's verbally said it. Grant Cardone, tens of millions of dollars. Ink doctors like, what the crud? I didn't know that was possible. Yeah, it is possible. And so guys, the journey we're going to be on. Here is the journey. Team, bring this up and I want them to visualize this journey with me. And we're about to start the auditing process in 5 minutes. Here's the journey. The journey. Today, I'm about to teach you the entire framework. And then me and Prince EA today, I'm going to go to the next one, guys. I'm going to teach you the framework, the entire framework. And then I'm going to focus a little bit more time teaching on clarity. And Prince EA is going to be on the back end of clarity. And both of us will be in the VIP session for Q&A and coaching today. We have to get you locked in on internal clarity and external clarity. Because when we can get you locked in on that, you will leave here with confidence. Then tomorrow, we're going to focus on communication. Pat Quinn is going to teach you the story braid framework, and John Maxwell is going to teach you the things that make a communicator great. Wow, what a powerful 1-2 punch. I won't be doing much talking tomorrow. I'll just be taking notes. I will be taking notes. So now that we got you clear, now that we have you becoming a powerful communicator, which is the greatest marketing tool you can have, day 3, we are going to focus on building out your products, your services, and your pricing around your products and services. You will make a decision of the products and services that will help you hit your number that you said you're committed to hitting in 2025. I will start us off. I will get you clear. And then Tamara Lowe will talk about the power of creating transformational products and services in your business. Guys, this is the money day. The homework assignment on Thursday is the most fun because you will reverse engineer your 2025 number on one page, one piece of paper. And then day 4, it's all about stages. I have a special surprise guest this day, some guests that'll be coming, but I'm going to tell you what, this is the money maker day. The day before we designed what's going to make you money, but this day we're going to show you how to go make the money. And so day 4 is all about stages. And then day 5 on Saturday, same time, same place, every day, 90 minutes, Grant Cardone and myself are not only going to bring all 4 days together, this is what we call commitment day. This is what we call commitment day. Come back to me, guys. This is the roadmap. Can you tell me in the chat what excites you about that roadmap of our journey? What excites you about that roadmap? I want to see in the chat. I want to see in the chat. What excites me? All of it. All of it. I'm curious if it's all or pieces of it. That is the complete puzzle. Remember, I said you got to have an entire proven system. That's a proven system that's generated $2 billion. You think you can count on something that's generated $2 billion for over 100,000 customers? Dr. Keith, man, you're sharp, bro. I like that red on you too. Yeah, you can. And so here's what I want to say to you. This is the cheapest product that we've ever taken to the market. Go back, I want to see myself. This is the cheapest product that we've ever taken to the market. And I promise you, all of these speakers for 5 days are going to give you everything you need to have your game plan. 5 days, if you do your homework, we're going to get you back something that becomes your game plan. And Saturday, we're going to make a commitment to that game plan. If you don't do the homework, we can't spit back what we want to spit back to you, which is like a game plan report. I'm going to be very upfront and honest. Out of the gates. What's after the 5 days, Pete? I hope you will spend the next 5 weeks with us, allowing us to take that game plan and execute it. Can I just say that up front? Can I just get that out of the way so we can dive in? Thank you, Fred. Like Grant Cardone taught me something. He said, get that thing, that barrier out of people's minds. Like, what's the next level engagement? He's about to give us the goods, but what's the next level? 5 days, you will have your game plan. But we want to take that game plan for the next 5 weeks and help you execute it. It's the only time of the year I do coaching is during this launch. The only coaching I do is one-on-one coaching for people who can pay us $500,000 to $1 million. It's the only time of the year. So I just want you to know that's all we will, that's the only thing we will talk about outside of this boot camp's journey is our stage to scale product. And we have a lot of alumni here, and it's $1,000. That's all it is. And it's crazy what you will get in those 5 weeks. But the 5 days will give you the plan to set you up for 2025. The 5 weeks will help you begin to execute that plan. That's the difference. That's the difference. You know who speaks my love language? People who are like, damn it, sign me up for that. That's nothing. I think that's Piper in the deal. So, throughout the days, we'll talk about stagetoscale.com. It's the 5 weeks. Be interesting to see who signs up for it before they even know anything about it. But I want to get that out of the way so I can start moving into the roadmap. That's it. 5 days, and I hope that you will move into 5 weeks with us. Who already kind of feels that nudging to say, Pete, I'll probably move into 5 weeks with you guys, like right 5 weeks. I'm going to give you every flipping thing I can for the, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Somebody said I signed up right now. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So today, let's audit all 4 areas. And today, I'm going to give you homework. I already gave you some optional homework. Number 1, what is it that you're fighting for and fighting against? And number 2, go tell your kids how much you love them. Pete, what does that have to do with your message matters? It matters to your kids. The first one's about your professional life. The second one's about your personal life. I've already given you 2 things. Those aren't the main things, but at the end, we're going to give you exactly where to submit your homework. That's who wins prizes. That's who moves the needle the most, is those people right there. So let's audit. I'm going to dive deeper into clarity, and then I'm going to come back here in about 30 minutes, and I'm going to turn it over to Pat Quinn in about 30 minutes. And he's going to bring on our guest. So I want to audit, but the only place that I'm going to teach deep in is clarity. That's the only place I'm going to go teach deeper in. The other 3 areas, I'm going to set the tone to get your minds ready, and you begin to see, like, where is the deficit I have? So as I go through this, I want you to think in all 4 areas, what would I rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10? And where do I need to grow this week in that area? Where do I need to grow this week in that area? Okay? Everybody got that? Can you commit? Hey, if you will commit to doing the homework will take you less than 30 minutes a day. Who will commit to doing the homework all week long? Because that's what's going to get you a game plan. That's going to get you a plan. Okay? So let's start. Here's the 4 parts. Your Message Matters Bootcamp. Who's excited? Come on. I have been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. I get to help 2,500 people get their message out to the world. Like, if I just help those 2,500 people reach 10,000 more people next year, I think that's 2.5 million. I don't think 25 million. It's millions of people. So the first thing that you've got to get clear on, and remember, I'm going to teach here, is you've got to get clear on clarity. And Prince EA is also going to teach on this on the back end. You've got to get clear internally and externally. Whoa, Pete, you've never taught the internal, you've only taught the external. Yeah, and I started to realize that the external is not the problem, the internal is the problem. I'm going to tell you something. You have a message, you have a story, but you also have a belief that you're an imposter. Many people believe that who wants to hear from me? Many people feel like they have imposter syndrome. Many people believe like there's nothing I can do to make a difference in the world. It's not the business model that's getting in the mind. It's your belief that's getting in the way of you creating that 2025 number. Am I the only one who started my business that felt like an imposter? Like, if you felt or even feel like an imposter, tell me you faced imposter syndrome. Write the word imposter if you have. And if you haven't, don't write it. Let me tell you why you face imposter syndrome. Because you hear people like Grant say, I'm doing $200 million this year, or Tony say, I'm doing 200 million, or Pete say, I'm doing 25 million. And you think that you have to have written your entire book. I'm not talking about a physical book. You think the book has to be done for people to listen to you. D, the book does not have to be done. You might be on chapter 5, I might be on chapter 15. The only difference is I get to serve the 14 chapters that haven't gotten to where I'm at. You get to serve the 4 chapters that haven't gotten to where you're at. Stop having imposter syndrome. Realize that the book and the story isn't complete. The message isn't done. Your life journey is somewhere in the middle of the book, and you don't have to finish the book to serve people. You just have to be out in front of people and understand how to get them results or transform their lives. Does that resonate with anybody? Yeah, you might be on chapter 7, Tariq, and you might not serve the person on chapter 17, but all of the people in the previous chapters and those who haven't even picked up the pen are people and customers that you can serve. I'm going to tell you what. My wife told me something, and some of you might resonate with this. I used to promote Daryl Scott, Daryl Scott, Daryl Scott. He's the best thing, best school program, best everything. And then I started to have to promote myself. And it was like, yeah, I got some stuff. It might not be that good. It's okay. Is there anybody out there that's a lot better promoting other people than you promoting yourself? You're better at promoting everybody else but yourself? Who is that? Say me. That's because you don't have a belief and a conviction like you need to. How many believe that you can change people's lives? Write the word change. How many believe you've got something that can change people's lives? Then you have to tap into that conviction. Zig Ziglar's son said, people, tell everybody you ever talk to that they have a moral obligation to get their products and services out to the world if they really believe they can change people's lives. And if they don't get it out to the world, they are being selfish. I want you to know today that you might need somebody else to believe in you to get you to the point of believing in yourself. I got to tell you, for me, that was Brendan Burchard. Brendan Burchard and a person who worked for him by the name of Denise believed in me more than I believed in myself. So some of you today got to get around people in a community and a mentor that can help instill that belief and help you see that you've got something that can change the world. That is the internal. And within that, you've got to find your purpose. Prince EA is going to talk about purpose and the graveyard on the back end. What about external? This is the only place I'm teaching today. External. This is critical. You have to be clear on the problem. So internal, you got to get clear here. You got to get confident here. You got to get belief here. Because then when you go out there, it's like turbo. It's turbo. I remember the minute that belief came was when Danny Brissell became my first customer, and I saw somebody bought a product from me for $2,000. They bought a workshop from me for $2,000. And it was like, let's go. So it's got to start here. And the mistake I've been doing, Pat, for 10 years is just talking about who do you want to go serve. Well, you first got to get clear here and get belief here. Second, now, what's the problem you want to solve and for who? What is the problem you want to solve and for who? Look, the problem you solve, you've got to identify a problem that's happening in this world. You've got to use the language that the customer speaks about that problem. You've got to use the customer language that the customer actually speaks, that they lay down at night thinking when they go to bed. And then you have got to present the solution. Tomorrow, Pat Quinn and John Maxwell are going to show you exactly how to communicate this, but you got to be clear on it. Today, you got to get clear on this. Tomorrow, you're going to learn how to communicate it. Here's problems to solve. Or you've got to now go solve a problem. You have to find your niche, identify your low-hanging fruit, and seek out people with the same problem. Knowing the problem you solve and the people you serve is the foundation to building your signature talk and knowing which stages to be on. Knowing which stages to be on. I'm curious, who do you serve and what's the problem you solve? And another way, sometimes it's not a problem you solve. Maybe you provide more pleasure. You solve a problem or you provide more pleasure. But how many of you are clear on the problem you solve and who you serve today? Clear? Not clear. That's what I want. I want to know that. Good. Some of you not clear. Let me give you some beautiful, beautiful examples. Here's people who want to be served. Here's some people who want to be served. Team, bring this up on the screen for them. Here's some different folks that want to be served. And by the way, I could have 10,000 pages of people who want to be served. I could have 10,000 pages of people who want to be served. Here's just some of them. They want to be served. All of them have problems. You've got parents, you've got students. These are people not on there. You've got superintendents, you've got pastors, you've got churches, you've got single moms, you've got divorced moms, divorced dads, single dads. You've got widows, you've got addicts. Like, you've got a lot of things, people who want to be served in this world. But the other thing is that there's problems that people want to be solved. Look at some of these problems. That addiction, obesity, fatigue, pain, overworked, insomnia, anxiety, unemployment, insecurity, debt, retirement, fear, burnout, taxes, being disconnected, stressed, conflict, parenting, jealousy, divorce. Like, guys, these are different types of problems that the world is looking for solutions for. Come back on me. And here's what I want you to know. All problems and all people fall into three major categories. So last piece I'm going to teach on this. Humankind wants to succeed and overcome in three categories: health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. That is what humankind wants to overcome it. So my primary bucket that I help people in is wealth. By underneath wealth, helping them land more customers. Where somebody else might fall into wealth and I help them save for their retirement, or I help them invest in real estate. Those are all examples of wealth. My question to you is, can you get clear on your major category that you're helping people succeed in? Do you know what your primary category is? In the chat, what's your primary category? And if you don't know what the problem you solve and who you want to serve is, choose one of these categories, and that's a starting place for us. Let's get started with which category you're going to choose, and then we will build upon from there. But almost anything that anybody does falls into these three categories. Yeah, Pete, prove that to me. I'm a home builder. I remodel homes. Well, guess what? Somebody had to remodel this home during COVID. My wife said she was sick and tired of walking in a home that felt outdated. She said she didn't have a peace of mind. So guess what? They came and remodeled it and gave us the remodel of our dreams. I'm in my home right now. What's the primary thing that did for us? Which bucket did that serve, do you think, the most for us in our family? No, you would think wealth, but it was actually relationship or health. It just so happens that home builder provided all three of them. Our relationship was made better because of the fact that I made that investment. She now has a peace of mind, and our house has gone up in value. If you can get clear on this, even a home builder can go in and land every deal with the words that come out of their mouth. All of you fall into one of these three categories. And today, I want you to be clear on the category. And when you write, what am I fighting for? When you write that little paragraph of a paper, team, I want them to talk about the problem they're solving and who they're serving in that paper. That's what I want you to do. I'm personally going to read every single one of those that is submitted. And I've never made a commitment like that before, because those will inspire me to change the world. So in your Zoom room, I want you to write this on a piece of paper. The next 3 buckets are all going to be done in about 10 minutes. This is the teaching today. Prince will bring some more teaching. With clarity, where would you rate yourself today in this moment on a scale of 1 to 10? I want you to type that in Zoom, but I also want you to write it on your piece of paper. I want you to write it on your piece of paper. Type it in Zoom, write it on your paper. Write it on paper. No, by the way, there's a poll on Zoom, guys. There's a poll on Zoom, so I want to make sure you see that poll. Let's see that poll. Keep going. All of you on Zoom should be typing this. Come on. All of you, everybody. By the way, we provided day 1 for free on YouTube. This is the only day you're going to get for free, by the record. So I hope that you'll upgrade to the boot camp today. And there's links in there for you. Where to do the submission? Don't worry, it's right here in front of you on Zoom. Now, I also want you to ask yourself the question, what do I need to do? What do I need to work on in the clarity section? What is it that I need to work on in the clarity section? I want you to write that down on your piece of paper. And the poll team, hey guys, we're going to bring a poll up for all of these. Please write the poll. Let me see the poll results, guys. The poll result, the common answer was around 7. Okay. All right. Move that poll. Get that poll out of here now. Second bucket, and get it off here too. You have to do it from here. Okay. All right. Let's maybe not bring it up on my screen. Technology, guys. That's clarity. Prince EA will add some more value here in about 10 minutes. He'll add some more value here in about 10 minutes. Tomorrow, Grant Cardone says this is the greatest marketing tool. And can you give me my slides where I can fast forward through them, or no? Like where I can see them, you can't. Okay. Tomorrow I want it like that. Powerful communication will be the focus of tomorrow with Pat Quinn and John Maxwell. I'm not teaching this today because it will be taught tomorrow. But I'm going to ask you to audit yourself. Audit yourself. And here's what the audit should be based on. Tomorrow, Pat Quinn will teach this framework. And he'll teach you what's working in 2025. He will teach you that. Remember, there's 3 things that every great communicator has. We're also going to show you how to make your talk the greatest marketing tool you have. How well, when you talk, do customers come into your world today? When I speak 1-to-1, customers come in. When I speak 1-to-many, customers come in. Probably at an 8.5 or 9 for me. In a minute, I'm going to ask you what yours is. So Pat's going to show you how to move out of 1-to-1 to 1-to-many. Gary Brecka, in one talk, landed more customers than he did in 10 years in his brick and mortar business. 10 years, one talk, because we're going to help you design a talk that helps you move 1-to-many, online and offline. How well are you doing that? Great communicators, great communication does 3 things for the audience. And I'm going to tell you, 98% of communicators do not do all 3 of these. They do 1 or they do 2. They do 1 or they do 2. Number 1, they inspire. They know how to inspire. Number 2, they teach. They know how to teach. And number 3, they actually have people take action. Most communicators don't do that. The 2 that are teaching you tomorrow do that. Pat is going to teach you the StoryBrand framework, And John is going to teach you the rules of how to do all three of those things well. Warren Buffett says this is the greatest return on investment that you can have. He took a public speaking course and said you can increase your business 50% just by becoming a great communicator. Grant Cardone said it's the #1 skill set that he focuses on with his kids, because if they can become great communicators, they can do anything in this world. I want you to rate yourself today on communication. Will you rate yourself today on communication? In polls, guys, we need the polls fast, team. Be ready, team. There's the poll. I want to see the poll. Oh, yeah, take it down right now. The poll. Tomorrow, your number will go up. John, your number will go up tomorrow. It will. You'll be a better business coach after tomorrow. Let's go to the third part of the framework. The third part of the framework. This is on Thursday. We're going to be talking about products and services. How many of you have, here's a question. You have 0, 1, 2, or 3 products that are selling today, 3+. 0, 1, 2, or 3+. Ooh, very few people have 3. So on Thursday, this is going to be so much fun. On Thursday, we're going to help you decide your product suite. With your products and services, you've got to do 2 things. You've got to decide which products and services you're going to sell in 2025. You've got to design those products, and then you've got to deliver those products. Decide, design, deliver. Thursday, you're going to decide the products, you're going to decide the pricing, and you're going to reverse engineer the number that you are committed to in 2025. You will reverse engineer that. You will see it on one page of paper. How? We're going to go through the low, mid, and high tickets. And you're going to get clear on which one of these, what is the product and service, and how much are you pricing that product and service on Thursday. And then we're going to make sure that you pick from these products and services. I will cover the pros and cons of all 17 of those on Thursday. We're going to make sure that you have the product suite to monetize what you want to monetize in 2025. And Zig Ziglar said the greatest thing that you can do is have products and services, because that's what changes people's lives. There's the quote. He thought speaking changed their lives, but realized late in life it was his products and services. So I want to audit you today. Team, will you bring that up really quickly? Whoops. Where would you rate yourself on products and services? Where would you rate yourself on products and services? I want to know that. This audit, by the way, we're taking internally, so we know where you rate yourself. Maybe they need to end the poll. Guys, let's end that poll. I'll talk about some of my favorites. Got to figure this out, man. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Hold on. All right. And then last, guys, this is perfect. This is great. Last, we've got to talk about stages. This is the last audit that I want to do today. And then I'm going to bring this thing full circle and bring my man Prince EA up. There are 4 buckets of stages. 4 buckets of stages that by the end of this week, on Friday, you're not just going to be clear on how many digital stages of other people's stages you're going to be on. You're going to be clear on how many physical stages you're going to be on of other people's. And you're going to be crystal clear on the digital stage of your own digital stage, the one that you're going to build in 2025, and the one physical stage you're going to build in 2025. What do all of the great entrepreneurs have in their business? They're getting customers from all 4 of those areas. So I'm going to ask you the last question today is I want you to rate yourself on how well you are doing on getting customers from those 4 areas. Team, if you can bring that chat up or that poll up. This is the last poll, about to transition over to Pat here in just a second. Give me 5 minutes. Stages don't look too good here, guys. Do not miss Friday, Lauren. Do not miss Friday, Rosie. Renetti, do not miss Friday. Wow. Major deficit. Major deficit. So watch this, guys. Let's stop the poll. Team, stop it and exit it out. Yep. Great. Today, there's a focus on clarity. Tomorrow, there's a focus on communication. Thursday, there's a focus on products and services. Tamara Lowe will be with us. Friday, there's a focus on stages, special guests. Saturday, it's commitment day with Grant Cardone. If we do this well, I want to see who gets this answer right first. What is the byproduct of perfecting this proven system? What's the byproduct? Tell me in the chat. Change lives, but come on, sales and customers. And when you get customers, you get success for you and for them, and change lives happen. Look at this. I want you to see these next few slides. Guys, bring this up on their screen. I'm going to go for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it over to Pat Quinn. How many of you guys are excited about this week? How many of you guys are excited about this week? It's going to be incredible. These are the digital stages that we've had in the last few years, and look at the leads and look at the revenues it's created just from us being clear and communicating and having products and services and getting the stage. Look at the physical stages that we've been on. Look at the physical stages and the revenues that was generated from those physical stages. Maybe you just focus on one industry or one niche. Look at the industry or niche that you have. The industry or niche. This is just financial advisor stages for me. Some of you, that number right there, one of those numbers would be your biggest year ever. That's one stage for me. That's one stage for me. Guys, come back to me. This week, we are creating your 2025 number. Your 2025 number. I want you right now to one more time declare the 2025 number that you're going after in total revenues. Write it in the chat. 2025, the number. If today you will have internal and external clarity and you'll do the homework assignment. If tomorrow we can get you crystal clear on the outline of your communication plan with Pat and John. If on Wednesday we can perfect or create your products and services, get clear on the pricing, and reverse engineer the number. And if on Friday we can get you mastering all 4 buckets of stages, you will be on pace and have the plan to hit your 2025 number. You will. And so this is what I want to do before I bring Pat up. Guys, will y'all come on me? We're on a 5-day journey, But like I told you, and I'm gonna do this in less than 5 minutes. I've got my clock on right now. We're on a 5-day journey. And it's gonna be amazing, and you're gonna have your game plan done, but I wanna be on a 5-week journey with you to execute and get it done. So really quickly, Stage to Scale, it's tens of thousands of students across the United States have been a part of this. John Maxwell just launched this in Latin America, for Latin America, with our partners Susie and JV in Latin America, because of the impact that this has had on the United States of America. Every big name that I've shown you, the majority of them have promoted this to their communities because they know the results that it gets. And we only open this up 1 time a year. We're going to give you coaching, we're going to give you curriculum, and you will become a graduate in this methodology with a certificate signed by me. And it will be the thing that helps you hit your 2025 numbers. And so 6 weeks of group coaching with me and my team, and we answer almost every single coaching question that exists over those 6 weeks. It would cost you $10,000 to get this. Or if you do it one-on-one, $1 million. We're going to give you the entire curriculum of all 4 of these modules, all 4 of the areas. We're going to give you the entire curriculum, lifetime access. It's just recently been updated. We're in week 1, we're going to focus on clarity. You will have internal clarity, you will have external clarity, and we will give you the confidence that you need, and we will speak life into what you're taking out into this market. And then we'll coach you after you go through the curriculum. In week 2, we will build out your talk and actually make you execute your talk that week. Remember, this is about building the plan. That's about executing. Every single person will go deliver the short version of their talk in week 2. So not only are we going to help you craft it, we're going to make you do it. Do it. And hopefully by doing it, you will land customers. And in week 3, we're going to make sure that you execute the designing of your products. You're going to decide your products this week. But in that week, in 1 day this week, but in 1 week, we're going to design your products, design your pricing, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure this is done. And then the last part, we're going to get you freaking crystal clear and make you start winning stages in week 4. Start winning them. That's what it is, guys. Thousands of people have paid $2,000 for this course. Bring this up on their screen, guys. Thousands of people have paid $2,000 on this course. I'm going to talk about it this extensive one time right now. You can see that. That's not some facade. That's what they've paid. And we're actually making it available. I don't know why that's not scrolling, but we're making it available for $997, or we have a 6-pay option. Jake, go to the next slide. We have a 6-pay option of $197 as well. And so guys, come back up on here on me. All you have to do is go to stagetoscale.com. This is the most important slide. Bring that up too. Just take a look at that really quick. And don't worry, we still got Prince EA to come. Look at the results that this program has created. Our graduates say 99% of them are clear on the problem they solve and who they want to serve. 95% of them say they have their products and services. 90% of them have their signature talk written, and 70% know the stages that they're going to be on. We answered 5,922 questions that you have access to that question and the timestamp that it was answered right when you log in. 9.7 course rating. And the biggest one for me is we finish 7 to 10, our students finish this 7 to 10 times more than industry standard. And so guys, I want you to dive into this, come back on me. We have a 14-day risk-free trial. If you don't see the results, show us that you've done the work, return everything, and we'll give you a refund. But right there is what's going to set you up in 2025 to hit your number. This week, we'll get you the plan. Those 5 weeks will get you the execution. So one of the things we're going to bonus in is Grant Cardone and I have a workshop called 10X Stages Workshop. We do it 6 times a year. You can join us virtually or in person the 13th and 14th. People have paid $5,000 for this workshop, and we're going to allow you to come and have a full immersion experience on the 13th and 14th in Phoenix, Arizona. 2 days becoming a master. And you can see about 10,000 people a couple of years ago paid $5,000 for this workshop. We're going to bonus that in. We're going to give you a ticket to a VIP ticket to the Great American Speak Off as a VIP to share your story. We're going to make sure that you have a one-on-one coaching session to master this framework in your business. In person, we're going to give you a one-on-one coaching session to master this framework. And then here's the greatest thing. At graduation, we're going to give our graduating students many stages. We've given them all of these types of stages in the past. And we're going to give those away at our graduation to students who show up over the 5 weeks and do the work. So guys, stagetoscale.com, over $20,000 of value. We've got it one pay or a multiple pay, 6 pay of $197 or 1 pay of $997. I want to earn this from you. Like 5 days, you get your plan, you get clear, awesome. But I'm telling you, there's something about people who take action on day one. And so this is what I'm going to do. Anybody, I want to earn it. That price isn't going to change. These bonuses aren't going away until next week. I don't want to give any false scarcity. This program launches once a year, where I am the coach once a year to you. But people who take advantage on day one, I'm going to host a virtual mastermind for all of my day one buyers. And I'm going to be speaking into your business like a virtual mastermind for a few hours for anybody that takes advantage on day one. You will get me one-on-one, not just speaking into you, but many other people. And I'm telling you, that virtual mastermind will be game-changing for you. It'll be game-changing for you. Guys, I want to close with this before I bring Pat Quinn back up. How many of you know these 3 people? Who knows all 3? All 3. My man Princier is holding on deck. I've heard all 3 of them speak, and I think 2 of them are terrible speakers. This is not a political thing. This is a public speaking thing. So we're not talking politics this week. I'm talking public speaking. Do you realize that those 3 make anywhere from a few $100,000 to $1 million to be a speaker? But yet none of them did I walk out, not even, to be honest, not even, like the first time I heard Tony, it didn't resonate with me. None of them did I walk out feeling like, wow, that changed my life. Now the question is, how many of you know any of those 3? Can you tell me the names of any of those 3? How many in the chat? 0, 1, 2, or 3? What if I told you that all 3 of them in the parenting, the educational, and the corporate space have impacted millions of people? And what if I told you that all 3 of them are customers of ours? We're taking best kept secrets or people whose message isn't being seen or heard at the level it needs to be seen or heard, and we're taking it to a whole nother level. Yes, these 5 days will help you get a plan, but I'm telling you, these 5 weeks will help take you to another level. And so, Pat, I'm super excited about this. Pat, you're a huge believer in this. You're an instructor in this. Day one, we focused on auditing their entire playbook. We focused me on clarity. I spent the most time on clarity. I know you and Prince are going to jam on clarity for a little bit as well. But PQ, I'm going to turn it over to you. I can't wait to be back here in a little bit. And we're going to finish today with a powerful video, the very first video that I ever watched that inspired me to take my message out to the world. Is how we're going to end the day after you interview Prince. So Pat, anything you want to say? I'm going to turn it over to you, my man.
Thanks, Pete. Oh, Stage to Scale is so life-changing. These 5 weeks that are coming up are going to change everything, no matter where you are in your journey. If you don't even know if you have a business or what that business would be, we're going to spend time in the first modules on clarity. If you have a message that you want to get out to the world, but it's kind of a hot mess, or you have like 7 messages you want to get out to the world, we're going to help you craft the perfect talk. And a lot of you I saw in the polls didn't have a product, and you don't get on stages. Wow, these 5 weeks are going to turn an action plan into the future for you, and they're going to change everything as far as how much impact you can have on the world, how much revenue you can create. It's going to change everything. So click the link, stagetoscale.com, sign up. And man, that bonus, I don't know if you heard that bonus, but everybody who signs up today is going to get into a virtual mastermind or class, time to spend time with Pete Vargas. He's going to speak right into your businesses. That is an amazing bonus. And you're going to have a chance to do that virtually with Pete if you sign up today. So click the link and sign up today. I told you earlier, I was at Pete Vargas's first event. And after 2.5 days of sitting there, I was like floored in my chair with the content and the system that he taught. And I thought to myself, this has been the greatest event I've ever been to. It can't get any better. And then it got better. He ended that 2.5-day event by showing the audience a video that changed sometimes things happen at live events and you'll never forget it. I'll never forget the seat I was sitting in. I'll never forget Danny Brazell sitting on my left, Lavana Roth sitting on my right. I'll never forget watching this video in a room with all these other people. It changed everything. It just put this cap on it because we left there with purpose. We left there with enthusiasm. We left there with clarity. We left there. It was such a gift to show us this video. This video is a video from Prince EA, and so I want to introduce him to you now. He started as a YouTube creator in 2003, and his YouTube channel skyrocketed from 0 to 6.5 million subscribers. Once his videos started getting hundreds of millions of views, Oprah started featuring his content. He got asked to speak on stages with legends like Tony Robbins. He has inspired millions and billions of people around the world. And I'll tell you what one of the huge drivers in his life is. It is purpose. Can you guys make some noise and join me in welcoming to the Your Message Matters Bootcamp, Prince EA? There he is.
Yes. I'm in the house, Pat. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. So grateful to be here. Hey, I see people waving. Hello. Welcome.
They are loving you, and you haven't even said anything yet. That's how much power you bring. That's how much power you bring. Hey, I tell you, I will never forget watching that video in that room. It was life-changing for me, as so many of your other videos have been. How do you become a YouTube creator? Was that your master plan? Like when you were 4 years old, were you like, hey, I don't know what YouTube is, but I want to be a YouTube creator? Talk to us.
I wish I was that young, starting at 4. No, YouTube just happened, Pat. It just happened. I was a musician in the beginning, and this new thing called YouTube came on the scene, and I thought, okay, maybe this is a way that I can get my music out to more people. And so I started that's how I started. But that was music. And then I had some pivots in my career where I stopped music and I pivoted to kind of what I'm doing now. And I'll tell you a little bit of that story. I mean, that was a long time ago. I was kind of I had a trajectory to really being super successful in the music industry. I gotten in magazines, I gotten awards like the best artist in St. Louis, which is where I'm from. I had songs on the radio, but deep down I was miserable. I didn't feel like I was really living my purpose. And so I went inside, I read everything I could on psychology, on spirituality, everything to try to find out, how can I just be happy? How can I live a fulfilling life? Right? Because that's why everybody is here, right? We all want to live a fulfilling life. And so I stopped music and everybody was like, don't stop, just keep going. I had to just stop it. And you know what I realized, Pat? I realized that, happiness is not in the accolades. It's not in the success. It's not in the awards. It's not in the mansion, and it's not in the cabin either. It's really inside of us, right? That peace, that happiness, that joy is always here. And so once I found that peace within, I started to just start to share more personal development content with the audience that I had developed, and they were like, "Oh, this is different from the music. What are you doing? Why are you shifting?" But I felt like it was a disservice for me to continue to just make music that was self-aggrandizing, right? So I just started, I pivoted into more, okay, how can I give? How can I serve? How can I help people achieve the peace, the mental health that I've achieved through video, which was everything I knew. And so pretty soon, one video just went crazy viral, went from 100,000 to 1 million to 10 million to 100 million. And I got on all these TV shows and networks, and then it was just video after video, just kind of just kept hitting a nerve. And yes, you could say it was because of, I had learned some creative tips and hacks that helped me learn marketing. But I really sincerely think, as the old saying goes, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. There's something qualitative when you are living your purpose, living your mission, that people are attracted to. It's magnetic. And so that's what I ascribe the kind of trajectory of my career, and kind of where I am today, just on the mission to continue to serve. Right now, we've got over 2-3 billion views, and I feel like I'm just getting started.
Just getting started. Hey, I think everybody here can relate that. If you've had some pivots in your life, why don't you drop into the chat the word pivot, because I know you're not alone with that. One of the things you talk about a lot is purpose. When you say the word purpose, what does that really mean to you? And do you think how you've defined purpose has changed over the course of your lifetime?
Purpose is an interesting one because we live in a world today where it's so like, okay, you need your purpose. If you don't have your purpose, you're failure. You're worthless. But I don't think that's true. I think there's two definitions of purpose. I think who we are deeply on the inside of us is already perfect. It doesn't need to strive for anything. It doesn't need an achievement or an award. It's already love. Right. And once we can identify as that love, then we can go on the external side and start to do our work, right? On the external reality, right? But a lot of people, they start with the external and they never get to the internal, right? So I think I do think that we are here. I think that everybody, just like everybody, has a unique iris pattern. Right? There's never been two people with the same iris pattern. I think there's never two people with the same expression in life that we came here to do. We came here to say or achieve. And I think that's beautiful. I think purpose is important. I think purpose is, the Japanese call it your ikigai, your reason for getting out of bed in the morning. I think it's so important. In fact, they did a study that said if you could ask God any question, they did a poll of probably 100,000 people, and they asked them, if you could ask God any question, what would it be? And what came up was not what happens after I die. It was, God, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? So having a purpose is important. And I've studied this my entire life, my entire career. I've studied because I told you, all I want to do is live a fulfilling, honest life while I'm here. We only get 70, 80 years. Let's live it as our true selves. And so I did the research, I did the study, I did the meditation, and I found that purpose is a 5 variable equation. There's awareness, there's bliss, and I can explain these. There's awareness, there's bliss. There's your excellence, right? There's service. You subtract fear, and that's your purpose. Awareness, bliss, excellence, service minus fear equals purpose. If you hit on all of those, if you really optimize all of those, you don't need to go anywhere else. You're there, right?
Well, I hope everybody didn't miss that golden nugget right in the middle of that. I want you to expand on this a little bit. It sounds like what a lot of people do is start external and then try to align their internal purpose.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that's just that they're doing it backwards. That's why it's not working. That's why it's not catching. And that's not why it's not expanding in the universe the way it could. You have to start internal. Is that for somebody who's struggling with this and they're like, I've looked inside. I don't know what it is. Like, I've switched it every week for the last 2 years. Like, how do you find that inside you? If somebody's struggling to find their purpose, what would you say?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so many of uh, the masters, I think, throughout history, they all talked about the power of now, the power of presence, right? Because if you're afraid, you're projecting into the future. If you're depressed, you're projecting into the past. But there's a beauty of staying in the moment, right? And if somebody says, "Oh, I've tried that," they're going back to the past. I say meditation is one of the most powerful antivirus softwares that we have as human beings, right? It really can, it can cut through all of the software that we've gotten installed into our hard drives in our entire lives. But once we're silent, then we can understand that we are not the thoughts, right? We can be aware of the thought, right? We can't, this is a big thing. If a person can understand this, they are so close to enlightenment. If you can just understand that you are not the voice in your head, you are simply the awareness of the voice in your head, and all it takes is just silence. This is the natural state. So this is what I say. Yeah, you're right, Pat. We go outside so much. We look outside so much because that's also what the world kind of forces upon us. We never get to be quiet, right? And a lot of people are afraid of that quietude. But stillness is one of the most powerful things that we can do in our lives, and it starts with us. There's a story I always share when I'm on stages. I always share this story because it's so powerful. It's an old story, so if you've heard it, I apologize. But it's a story about a father and his son. He's babysitting his young son one day. Uh, Mom is out, so dad is just at home with the kid, and it's actually Super Bowl Sunday, right? So it's a big game, and the dad, he just wants to watch the game, but the little son, his name is Timmy. Timmy is like, Daddy, come play with me, come play with me, come. And he's just nagging, he's bothering dad. Dad is going crazy. He's like, oh my God, I just want to watch the game. So the dad gets an idea. He looks on the coffee table and he finds a magazine. And he flips through this magazine and he sees a picture of a world map on this magazine. So he's like, I got it. He grabs a pair of scissors and he starts cutting out this map into little pieces, thinking that he can create a puzzle for little Timmy so it'll keep him occupied long enough so he can watch the game. It's a brilliant idea. So he cuts this magazine up and he says, Timmy, come here. If you can put this map together, I'll play with you. But you know what? I won't just play with you. I'll stop the game. I'll take you out for ice cream and I'll buy you your favorite toy. How's that sound? Well, Timmy is like, oh my God, yes, finally, he gets me. So Timmy, he goes to his bedroom and he starts working on the puzzle. And the dad is like, yes, he's relieved. He's like, finally, I can watch the game in peace. Except 5 minutes later, little Timmy comes back in the room with a completed puzzle. And the dad is like, what the heck? Do I have a baby Einstein? How did Timmy know? How did you put this together so fast? And Timmy said, well, Dad, on the back of the map was a man's face. And I knew if I got the man right, then the world would come together.
Wow. Wow. You see, I'm telling you, every time you tell a story like that, when any of your videos, I just sit on the edge of my seat. I don't know. There's a lot of people, I think, who are watching today who think they have a message that could change the world, but there's so much negativity in our world that they're worried that they're going to get attacked, or they're worried that they're not good, or they watch you and they're like, well, I could never do it like that. Like, what do you do when you want to do something? You know you have something that could help other people, but you're afraid. You're afraid that you might fail. You're afraid that you might be judged. You're afraid of the negativity in the world. How do you overcome that?
Yeah, wow. I mean, this is something that we all have to face in our own hero's journey, right? Then it wouldn't be a journey without the fear, without the doubt. There's a book I love. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's coming into contact with the fear, but knowing that what you desire is so much bigger than that fear, and you transcend that fear. To transcend fear, you do it in the way of mentors. You do it like what we're having here, mentors, people who can support your journey. You do it in a way of having a great community around you. You do it in the way of meditation, of visualization. There's so many practices of visualization that are the neuroscientists have actually said that the brain can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. So if you can visualize that fearful state and see yourself getting through it, succeeding in it, then you practically have already done it. And when you meet it in real life, it'll be what's called the deja vu effect. You've already done it. You've already conquered it. So there's so many tactics but it all comes down to this and this, right? Understanding the mind, understanding that you're not your thoughts, and having that great community of people around, which is what we're doing here, which is what we're all here for, to share and help each other grow and become the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Stage to Scale is we get to experience the 5 weeks as a community and go through the process together. And I just think that's great as well. Hey, I got one more question for you. You mentioned in your 5 parts of purpose, bliss, and I know you think there's a strong tie between purpose and happiness. Talk to us about that connection between purpose and happiness. I want to make sure everybody sees how one leads to the other, and you can't have one without the other.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a science guy. I got my degree in physical anthropology, biological anthropology. Now I'm kind of in the art space, but I'm a science guy. I love data, and I read the studies, and all the neuroscientists, the longevity experts, they're saying the same thing now, that purpose actually can make you live longer. It actually extends what's called your telomere length. Having a purpose in life, right? A reason to get out of bed in the morning. It's so important. Um, Purpose, it's a depression pill. It cures depression, anxiety, right? It makes you happier. You have a better sex life. You make more money. I actually have a course where I know all these studies because I've documented them in my course, and I break down all of the research that actually shows how valuable and important having a purpose is. So purpose is everything. And happiness, or I say gratitude, happiness is the byproduct of gratitude, is a superpower. Being thankful, saying thank you are really the magic words, I think, in this universe. They can change everything. And so thank you for having me here. I'm so happy to be here. This is an amazing group. I'm looking at everybody, all the comments. I'm loving the energy.
Oh my gosh, the chat is on fire for you. This is it. Tell us about the purpose formula. Tell us about it and what's in it and what it offers.
Yeah, great. So the purpose formula is last year I created a platform called Life University, where I broke down everything that can help a person live a fulfilling life, right? Everything from overthinking to community to purpose, which is the kind of the centerpiece of Life University. But the purpose formula is where I break down the whole step, the whole strategy. I have worksheets and exercises that can really help somebody in a few hours, right? From beginning to end. You can watch this course, fill out the worksheet. It'll take longer than that time to actually do the exercises, but it's everything you need. It's everything that I've kind of collected over the years and put it into one package. And I'm offering that to you guys actually for free, just because everybody is so kind. Everybody is so on it. I know a thing or two about being on stages and having a why. Your why is so important. Nietzsche said, he or she who has a strong enough why can overcome any how. And I know how important not just the why is, but the who. And the purpose formula is a course that can allow you to discover the why and discover the who.
Oh,
Pat,
wow.
Pat, I think that's, can you hear me, PQ?
Yep, we got you, Pete.
I think that's crazy, Prince. Thank you, man. I don't know if you guys just heard that, and I wasn't super familiar with that, but anybody stepping into Stage to Scale, I know that course is sold for $300, and I know the team worked with him, and he's like, Pete, I want to be able to give your folks the purpose course for anybody stepping into Stage to Scale. For those people who don't really, I'm telling you, it'll help every single one of you. Like me being around Prince EA has literally made my purpose go to another level. Every time I'm around him, he's not just a speaker today, he's a friend. We do work together, but we're in each other's lives. And this is what I want to say. I want to have him share a few words. Guys, every day will normally be done in about 90 minutes. Day one is 2 hours today. So every other day you can count on 90 minutes. We'll go into the Q&A at the 90-minute mark. But Pat, we'll go into the Q&A in about 5 minutes here. But when I did not know if I had purpose, when I didn't know if I was supposed to take my message to the world, and I had been sitting on it for 2 years, and I hadn't started this company, I saw a video online right before I was about to throw my first event, and there were 27 people at that event. Pat Quinn was one of them. And I saw this video from Prince EA, who had no idea who he was at the time. And I ended the conference playing this video, and people lit up. And so today, in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you're going to hear the video that prompted me to finally stop sitting on the couch and to do something and to invest in myself and make sure that my story and message got out to the world. This video has not only been a catalyst, it's been a video that I've watched hundreds of times since. I hope it speaks to you today. I hope it's an incredible way to end day one. And then, Pat, I'm going to let you wrap it up after the video, and Prince and I will be back in the VIP room sitting there for Q&A. So Prince, thank you for throwing that bonus in, man.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Let's go. Hey, I don't care who you are, what race, what age, what gender. I don't care about any of that stuff. But what I do know is that you have a dream inside of you. And that dream you have kept hidden from the world. You've made excuses for it. You've delayed it. You've listened to people telling you to be realistic. But deep down in your heart, you know that you're not living to your potential. And life is now something you're just getting on with. I want to lay some reality on you real quick. Where is the wealthiest place in the world? Do you know? It's not China. It's not Dubai. It's the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, you will find inventions never invented, businesses never erected, songs never sung, books never written, ideas never nurtured, people never realized, because they were scared to take a risk. Scared like you. But you want to know something else? You're not in the graveyard yet. And we get one life, right? And every passing moment, we will never get back again. You will never start this video with the same perspective you had when you click play. You will never brush your teeth the same way twice in your life. There ain't no rewind button on life. I will never get that breath back ever again. See, this present moment is so precious. We have to be here. We have to be in it and make the most of it. We have to live our dreams now because they are possible. 6,000 years ago, man created the wheel. Only 6,000 years ago. First written language was created. That's it. And if I may remind you, the airplane is only a little over 100 years old. There was no internet 50 years ago. No cell phone. So don't sit here and tell me that everything that can be done has been done when we haven't been here for very long. There are dreams, there are ideas and accomplishments that are waiting to be discovered, that are waiting for you. Helen Keller was once asked, what on earth will be worse than being born blind? She said, it will be so much worse to be born with sight, but no vision. Why can't we have cures for every disease known to man? Why can't we have clean water, food, education for every person on this planet? Why can't we have peace on this planet? Why do we have to die to go to heaven? The earth is already in space. We can have heaven right here, right now. Just a shift in this. Why not? Because somebody said it's impossible, it can't be done. I'll tell you this, there's never been a statue erected for a critic. Everybody tell you how to do it, they never did it. Moral of the story is, do you, be you, and be here now. Your dreams are possible. Stop obsessing over these celebrities, Kim Kardashian. Live your life. Step into your greatness. They say the average person dies at 25, but is buried at 75. You know what that means? Unless you figure it out. Don't let this negative world get to you. Don't let it win. Do not go where the path may lead, but go where there is no path and leave a trail.
Pete, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, man. Pat, as we close out today, I just love that video. It never gets old for me. It never gets old. I believe some of the most powerful stories and messages that could have changed our world live in the graveyard because of the fear of people not taking them out to the world. And so, guys, I'm telling you, we're going to give you everything we can these 5 days. But I'm gonna ask you, be with us for 5 weeks for the rest of the year. Graduate the first week of December. Come to the workshop the second week of December and watch what we do to set up your story and your message being taken to heights and levels that it's never been taken. We've got this proven, predictable system to make sure something doesn't go to the graveyard. And so I'm honored to have Prince today. Pat, I can't wait tomorrow for you, John Maxwell. I know John's got a special treat. And I'm so grateful for Prince bonusing in his purpose course for anybody that's taking advantage of Stage to Scale this week. You take advantage this week, that's going to be something that's included as well. So Pat, I'll let you close it out. I'm going to get ready for VIP, and we're going to let our general admission folks hear the VIP. They won't be able to ask questions though. So Pete, I'm going to turn it over to you, PQ.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. I just want to invite everybody once again into Stage to Scale. You can go to stagetoscale.com and sign up today. I think this is going to be 5 weeks that are going to change everything. I know what it did for me. I know what it did for thousands of students who've done it. This is your opportunity to change the course of your future, to step into your purpose, to get the clarity and communication, the products and the stages that you need to change the world. And so stagetoscale.com. I want to invite you to participate all week this week. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow we are all about communication. And John Maxwell is going to be here as our guest. So do not miss tomorrow, same time tomorrow. It's going to be a little shorter. We went long today because we are just so excited. And Prince EA, we did not want to cut any of that. We just wanted to be here with you and present with you. And we hope you can be here and present with us every single day. And don't forget the homework. Homework today is your assessment and your commitment. And they're going to drop a link in the chat of where you can turn that in. I've got a slide here of where you can turn that in as well. But we want to make sure that you, and they can drop the links in the chat as well, but make sure you are committed to these days. This is a 5-day boot camp. We want you here every single day for that. And I know this is going to change everything. If you can participate and commit to doing the homework, if you can commit to being here every single day and be present with us, this is going to be part of that. And so we're going to wrap up today. We're going to see you back here tomorrow at the exact same time on a day that's going to cover all about communication. Then we're going to be here on Thursday and Friday to talk about products and stages as well. And then don't miss Saturday, Commitment Saturday, as we're calling it. Such an important day, a day that's going to allow you to make a commitment and be part of this going forward. And so on behalf of Pete Vargas, Prince EA, and myself, Pat Quinn, I want to thank you for being part of The Your Message Matters Bootcamp Day 1. Join us back here tomorrow at the exact same time. VIPs, stay right where you are. We're going to go right into an open Q&A with Prince EA. He's going to answer your questions. Pete Vargas is going to be joining him. And so thanks for being part of Day 1 of the Your Message Matters Bootcamp.
Awesome, guys. Hey, general admission, hang out. You can hear the answers, but you won't be able to ask the questions. VIP room, you're the only ones that are going to be able to ask questions. I think it's not ironic that I'm speaking on a stage in tomorrow, and you're going to get to see me speaking on a stage on Friday as well. So like, I'm a practicer of what we're preaching and what we're teaching this week. I'm on my way to the airport, but hang out, VIPs. Our team is going to be facilitating questions for me and Prince EA. We're going to bring you up live, but my one rule is you say my question is, and you go right into your question. That's what allows us to answer a lot of VIP questions. Prince, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm just in your world right now. I'm loving it.
Bro, I love you. I love you. We're gonna have a little conversation before we do any questions. I've never asked you this. How many views has that video had?
Oh my gosh. I think it's probably in the 100+ million.
100+ million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the motivation behind that? Like, do you remember what motivated you to create that video?
I do. And it's man, the Stoics, when they would do their work, you would see in the movies or in the photo, the drawings, they had a skull on the desk, right? And this skull is translated to memento mori, right? Remember that you will die. And death it's not this morbid thing that we should be afraid of. For me, I think contemplation of death is the ultimate life hack. We're always looking for a life hack. Think about death. That will really allow you to get through your ego and live from your heart and create from your heart. So that was my motivation. I was like, listen, if this is the last video that I'm ever going to create, what do I say? What do I say? And that's how I try to do a lot of my videos, right? I try to, if this is the last video that I'm ever going to do, what's the message? Pete, I think you're frozen, or is that me?
There you go.
He looks a little frozen. He's back there.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry. Yeah, dude, that's amazing. That's, literally my favorite video out there. So anything else that you would say to the graveyard, just to the video, that you would add to it? That's probably a decade ago, wasn't it? 7 years ago? No, that's 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
That you made that?
Maybe.
I showed
yeah.
it in 2015. In 2015 is when I showed it. What would you add? What would you add to that video today? Like, what other context would you want people who are trying to get their message out to the world to know?
Yeah.
After watching that video today,
I'll tell you something that might come off as very weird. It might come off as strange, but I guarantee it, if you do it, it'll change your year. It may even change your life. And if you do it with a partner, it may change both of you guys' life. So it's something that I call the graveyard date. Go to a graveyard with your partner, with your family, and just walk around. Just walk around. And you'll see the multitude of ages, races, different names, genders. Death does not discriminate. Death does not discriminate. I said on the call, we've got 70 years, but listen, I was working with a guy on my social media. He was 21 years old. Brilliant. Had done stuff for Red Bull. Genius. Had his own company. I was working with him for a month. I got a WhatsApp saying, hey, this is so-and-so's dad. He passed away. It's like 22 years old, bright future ahead. So it's like death doesn't discriminate. You know, when you go on that to that graveyard, focus on the dash, right? Because you've got the birth date, the dash, and the death date. That dash is that life, right? Somebody said, make your dash dance. Fill it with so much excitement and joy. No regrets, no regrets. So and it's funny because I actually give that exercise in the purpose course as well, and so many others. I've got the tombstone technique where you write your own eulogy. Like it's death is not something that we should be afraid of, but it is something that we should honor and embrace and use as motivation to live a full life.
Man, I love that. Let's live a full life. Hey guys, let's get into it. We're going to go for about 25 minutes with Q&A. Jake or somebody on the team, can you navigate the questions? And Prince and I we'll jam back and forth.
Yeah, our first question's from Piper. Piper, can you unmute?
Hi, they actually did answer the question in the chat. Thank you. I guess if I had another question, I would ask, are you filled with the Holy Spirit, Prince?
Oh my gosh. We can get into a whole conversation on that one. I'd say absolutely though. And I'd love to expound if we had a chance to, but yes.
Yeah. And I would also echo that, Piper. So good question. I mean, that could be a whole nother 90 minutes, whole nother 90. Prince and I have had that talk in Cali. So let's keep it going. What other questions do we have?
Tom Costello's got a question. Tom?
My man, Tom.
Pete, how you doing? Prince, great to meet you. I'm a huge fan. I'm a fan of Pete, so you're a friend of mine. Love your videos. How did you, once things started, it seemed like things were very organic for you and just kind of picked up like a momentum of a wave and just kind of carried. I'm curious, at what point did you realize you had to make a change from just, hey, I'm doing this for my own fun and just kind of cathartically sharing my heart to, okay, I need to really focus on making this something significant, like professional, almost like a business, but maybe not with a business, profit mindset. How did you make that transition and what changed? Did you start hiring an editor and a producer, or is everything organic? Is it Blair Witch style like I do and just selfie stick and shooting it from your cell phone camera? You know what I'm saying? What changed for you and how did you scale that?
I love that Blair Witch style. That's jokes. Listen, for me, like I said, I transitioned from music to kind of self-help, personal growth, development, videos, and it was that transition that things just started blowing up, right? So I didn't know that YouTube or creating content could be a career. Until I started making a little bit more noise, you could say, online. And then I started connecting with different people. And they showed me, hey, this is actually not just a sustainable living, but you can actually thrive. You can actually be really successful just being a creator. And so then I started thinking, okay, wow, well, that's cool. But how do I create a business around it? I didn't really think about that in the beginning. For me, you're right, it was all organic. I didn't have money for ads. I didn't have a team. I had friends that would help out. And that's how it is, I think, for a lot of us in the beginning. But for me, I had to understand, I had to learn, I had to crack the codes of organic to start reaching those views that a lot of marketers spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on. I had to figure it out by myself, right? How do I crack the organic code? And it was a mix of timing. It was a mix of, clever tactics, and it was a mix of heart. And that's still what I do today. And I let the heart lead though, because it's so many creators that get to these, places and they forget why they started. And you can see it in their content and you can see it in their life. Like for me, a fulfilling life was more important than being a successful creator or successful anything. For me, it was like, what does a fulfilling life look like? I don't know if that answered your question, kind of round in a roundabout way. But yeah, it's a journey. But I think when you learn the skills, the tactics, and you combine that with heart and soul, you can't lose. The right team will come. The right people will come to you. I've never solicited myself. I've never reached out to Tony or to Oprah or to any of these big events. You know, I've spoken on stages with 100,000 people. I never said, "Hey, can I?" It was creating a brand. Not saying that way is wrong, but for me, this is my story. It was creating a brand, creating content that magnetized people to want to kind of come into my world.
That's good. Pete, you got anything to add, or you want to go to the next question?
No, I want to go. I want to keep going. We're probably only one of us will answer at a time, and obviously he's the expert there.
All right, Gary Ryan, I got you up for next question.
How you doing, Prince AA? Thank you, Pete. Great show. Thank you. Great. Gary Ryan from Down Under. I got 5 children, right? And when the first child was born, it was a cesarean section emergency after 17 hours of labor, and my son got stuck. And then suddenly, after being cleaned up and given to my wife for a few seconds, I found myself in a room with him for 45 minutes on my own. First time father, not expecting to be holding my son. When I'm looking at him, he was extraordinary. And every one of the other 4 children, so all 5 children, when you look at them at birth, were extraordinary. And I believe every human being's born extraordinary. But for many, many millions and maybe billions of people, by the time they're 8 years of age, they don't believe they're extraordinary anymore. And certainly by the time they're adults. So Prince, I'm interested with your research. What is it that causes people to stop believing they're extraordinary?
Oh my gosh. I got chills of you saying that. You know, there's a stat that goes by, I think it's by the time a child is 18 years old, he or she has been told the words no or you can't do that over 150,000 times. It's programmed. It's programming. I mean that's really it. And you know, the Jesuits would say, show me a child at the age of 7 and I'll show you the man, or I'll show you the woman, because they knew when the child is from that age of 0 to 7, that's when the personality is developed, right? That's where the foundation is formed. So those formative years, as they call them, are so important. And we live in a world today where those formative years are being infused with so much negativity. So it's not just a full-time job for a parent. It really does take a village to raise, you know, positive kids in a negative world these days. Yeah.
So good. Kimberly, can we get you next?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you guys. This is great. I think my question is, how do I get over the imposter syndrome feeling that I'm having as I run a tribe here in the Pacific Northwest as COO, mother of 4, single mom of 4. But I always feel like market's flooded with information that I can give. How do I get over that hump of the market needs to hear from me? Who needs to hear from me? How can I make an impact? Like, how do I get over any of that?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Michael Hyatt told me something, and it was very true for me too. A lot of the times we're so absorbed in what other people think about us, and we're not actually taking ourselves out of our head and thinking about how we can change somebody's life. And so he said the subtle change of thinking about transformation, he's like, I know I can get transformation in people's lives, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my insecurities, my imposter syndrome, my this, my that. And he said, as soon as I started shifting to the thought to, no, I can help them. I can transform them. I can help make their lives better. You have a tribe. You have 4 kids. You made a lot of people's lives better. And so as soon as you subtly begin to do that, things can begin to shift. That's when it began to shift for me. I could talk about Prince EA and how amazing he was all day long, but it's difficult to talk about yourself And it's hard to talk about yourself because you're like, am I even really making a difference? And am I really even helping people out? And I think we get caught up in the fact that you see these big numbers and these big personalities and all of these people, and you see social media and it looks like everything's perfect. But when I pull back the curtain around a lot of people's lives, it's not as perfect as you think it is. I got to tell you guys that. They portray a perfect life. The thing I love about Prince is he's authentic, he's real, he tells you what's going on in his life. I'll tell you what's going on in my life. This has been a difficult year for me in a lot of ways that I have not had in many years. And a big reason why imposter syndrome creeps up is you see all of these people on social as though everything's perfect. But when you pull back the curtain, there's a lot of, it's far from perfect. So stop paying attention to, like you said, to the Kardashians and this and that. And I know I'm not saying the Kardashians, but I'm saying, like, think about what you have created. Think about what you have done. Think about the transformation that you have brought into people's lives and make that become more of the meditational centerpiece of what you can do. Listen, my first launch sucked. Let me tell you my first stage to scale launch. There was one person who signed up and they refunded. You don't think that's going to bring around imposter syndrome? But it's because of how I showed up. Nobody believed that I had belief that I could help transform or change them. Nobody believed that because I didn't believe it. Because I was thinking about Jeff Walker and Brendan Burchard and all of these other people. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And so that's the big thing that I want to tell you is how to really overcome imposter syndrome. There's a lot that we can speak to. Just the bonus that Prince is throwing in with the purpose course, it's going to help you understand how to stay into your purpose. And I'm going to help you understand how to communicate in a way that doesn't have you feel the imposter syndrome. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And those are just a few of the thoughts I have. Let's keep it going, Jake.
Yeah, Mariah Barino, I believe. You got you up next for next question here.
Guys, and people keep asking Prince EA's purpose course. It's anybody who's taking advantage of stage to scale. We will be sending that out as one of the bonuses. He threw in that as a bonus to anybody that's stepping into stage to scale. So, I mean, it's a course that's sold for $300. So I just want to, I'm seeing that question a lot. Go ahead. Next question.
Hey guys, pretty much what she's saying. My biggest problem is picking up the phone and trying to communicate with clients or prospectives. I just totally freeze and don't want to do it, but I know I need to do it in order to make customers.
Well, let me say something to this. If you're freezing, let me tell you something that Prince and I don't do a lot of. We both get to do a lot of one-to-many versus one-to-one. And what I'm going to tell you this week, I want to shift people out of having to do one-to-many and actually communicate or one-to-one and begin to do one-to-many. Not that I want you to get rid of one-to-one. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're struggling there, I'm going to tell you it's a whole lot easier to speak to hundreds of people or thousands of people for me than it is to speak to one person. And here's the thing. When you design a talk that can speak one-to-many, now all of a sudden they're knocking on your door. Tony and Oprah came knocking on Prince's door because of his one-to-many communication. And he does it through video, which I consider a stage. I do it through a lot of stages. The shift I want you to try to make is move to the one-to-many bucket. In module 4, all things stages, we show people how to go one-to-many digitally, one-to-many physically, which now doesn't feel like you're soliciting or trying to sell somebody. You're giving to somebody, and now they come knocking on your door. So that's the biggest shift I would have you make. And yeah, I hope that you'll step into the 5 weeks with us. Cool. Let's keep it going.
All right, Alex, we got you up next.
Yeah, hi. My name is Alex from Germany, and my question is how to get focus on my message, or even getting my message to make more sense if I'm very talented and I have many things I can do and many things I'm into. So how can I focus on the real my message?
What would you say to that, Prince? I'll let you take that one.
You chase two rabbits, you lose them both, right? It's a lot of people who try to juggle a lot of things, but you really do see the difference between a laser. The reason why a laser is so powerful is because it's a focused beam. right? The spotlight, you'll hit a lot of areas, but the laser will cut through steel. So you're right. How do you distill down? How do you laser focus that one thing, that one message? It's such an important thing. I do it. I have this practice that I'd love to share with you guys. I call it the rule of 100, where I write down 100 things on one sheet of paper that I want to have, achieve, do, experience. I just go wild. 100 things. And then I take that 100 things and then I say, okay, if I can only achieve 50 of these 100 things, what do I do? And then I cut that 50 into 20, into 10, into 5, into 3. And those top 3, right? You should be moving the needle in those top. You may even pick one of those top 3. But that will distill your vision, your focus, your mission down to what's really important. You may not achieve the 100 things. You might have 100 different tasks. But if you achieve those 3, I'm sure, 100% sure that you will have achieved a happy, fulfilling life.
It's so good. Walt, we got you
So
up
good.
next.
Hello, can you hear me?
We got you.
Yes, sir.
So we all have that little voice in our head, and that's telling us, no, don't make that next step. Don't do that. Intuition, how important, how do you listen to your intuition? Have you changed how you recognize intuition in your world and seeing the results that you're getting versus that little voice in your head that's telling you don't do it? Where does intuition play in your world?
Prince, I'm gonna let you take that, my man.
Ooh, okay, great question. I love that question. Because intuition is essentially like a word that it's like that deeper wisdom that's within us. And that wisdom as opposed to the fear or the ego, right? So one way that helps is to get it on paper, to really write it down and ask yourself, is this decision one out of fear or is it one out of love? Is it one that's coming from a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset? Right? That's how you can kind of distinguish whether it's intuitive or what, because the ego, I mean, the ego is very clever. It's a beast. I mean, it can intellectualize things for its own survival. And that's why zooming out and putting things on paper is so important. Then you can actually see it. But yeah, intuition is big. One thing that I like to do actually for decision making as well is I like to project myself as the 100-year-old Prince EA who's in a rocking chair. You know, he can't move, he's old, he's frail. And I like to ask that version of me what I should do now, the version of me today, what that version should do. And that wisdom of the old me is usually that wisdom that comes from the intuition and that deeper wisdom, that deeper love, not the fear.
Getting deep up in here, guys. This is so good, and we'll be recording all of this. And I want you guys to know tomorrow, we'll make sure anybody who we don't get to their question today, that you're the top of the list tomorrow. We run this in a way that allows you to ask questions. We're going to go for about 8 more minutes, guys. Jake, keep it going.
All right, Lori, we got you next.
Hello. My name is Laura Morgenthau and from Las Vegas. So since Prince, my question is related to talking to people about death. Given what you know about human psychology, what we do is we teach people how money works, and that involves, talking about being prepared and legacy and life insurance. And even though life insurance actually has a lot of features that you can do while you're alive, the concept revolves around death as well. So a lot of people would rather, stick their hand in the sand. And, you see by all of the GoFundMe on Facebook that that's not a good strategy. It doesn't work. What tools can we use that you know of to speak with people about the subject in a way where they don't clam up?
meeting.
Go ahead, Prince. I think she asked you. You're the special guest today.
Yeah. Well, amazing question, because death is this taboo topic in our culture, right? It's like, we go to funerals and everybody's in black, is dark, like we're crying. You go to a funeral in a different country, like somewhere, a Buddhist funeral, and it's a celebration, it's a party. They realize they've graduated, right? It's like it's this joyous thing. Obviously, there's still that loss, but it's just it's a cultural difference. So it's so to speak to somebody in all culture, you're right, it's very delicate when communicating about death. I don't know if I have like a pat answer. I do know that it is important to communicate it in a way that they can receive it. That I can't think of anything right now just off the top of my head. Maybe I'd have to sit with that, and maybe you two can contemplate that. I do know there are a few books about about death. One by this guy Ram Dass. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Ram Dass was like a Harvard professor turned into like a spiritual guru, and he talks about death and how we should kind of change our perspective of it, and kind of easing people, helping people as they near the end of their life stage as well. There's another one by a guy named Stephen Levine called A Year to Live, and his whole work is he since passed away, but his whole work was about communicating about death. So I don't have an answer. I'm not ashamed to say I don't know, but I think if you look into those two directions, I think you can get closer to how to communicate that to people in your business.
Yeah, I love that. And I'll add to this, and then we'll take one more question, Jake. And don't worry, we'll answer folks' questions. Get your hands up early. A couple of tactical things that made me start thinking about life insurance when I never thought about it is when you have a family, and you have a family that you're providing for, and you're the sole provider for your family, and you start getting into your 40s, you start to think about that. I don't think people think about it in their 20s and 30s that often. I think you begin to start thinking about it when you have a family, and you're like, if I'm gone and I can't provide for my wife and my family, like I'm no longer the breadwinner. I want to make sure something put in place. So I think there's heart. I don't think there's manipulation in that. The person who communicated it to me spoke to my heart and just said, Pete, you got to make sure that you have a responsibility of making sure your wife and kids are taken care of if something, and for some reason you're not here. So there's that angle that you can talk through, which is leading with the heart. The second thing is talk about the financial piece. Most people don't realize that you can use your life insurance and the tax benefits and the investment strategy that can be used on. People do think about that at night. That's taboo. But it's funny. That's taboo, but temporary money isn't. That's going to last forever. But that's what they're thinking about. So you got to meet them where they're at. And so those are the two things that got me. One more question, and I'm going to ask Prince our final question.
All right, Janelle, we got you up last.
Thank you. My question is, how niche do you go? So you said the 3 buckets, health, relationships, wealth. If it's health, I niche down to wellness, but then how niche do you go? I have a method. So is it best when you're first starting out to really, really niche down into like a specific area, heart, thyroid, whatever? Or is it best to brand yourself in the bigger thing that you do, the method?
Yeah, there's people that believe there's riches in the niches, and there's people who don't believe there's riches in the niches. I'm not necessarily in the niches of industries, but I'm very specific on something that I'm really good at, which is stages and platforms and how to grow them. Listen, what we've done with you, we just got to do with Prince. And we've only been able to help him for a few weeks, but we're going to be helping him for a long time around one specific thing. And so the cool thing is I can take that to chiropractors. I can take that to functional medicine folks. I can take that to network marketers. I can take that to entrepreneurs. I can take that to financial. I mean, I can take it to a lot of different industries. But what is something that you can really do to go get people wins immediately? Like, figure that thing out. And you're probably going to have something that's low hanging fruit out of the gates that's making people lose sleep. And you already know it. So start there and then expand. I didn't expand. I started, I dialed it in, and then I began to expand and serve them in different areas as well. So that's what I would tell you. That's what I would tell you. Great question. Hey, Prince, last thing I have for you, man. I know you gotten to see my evolution. I mean, your video was your video was the first thing I showed at my very first event. If we can bring Prince up, guys. What would you say to people? Like, you know me better than most people on here, and you've gotten to see the people we've worked with and the things that we've done, and gotten the chance and honor to work with you. I know it's a little bit of a selfish question, but like, people this week, what would you say to everybody that's part of this boot camp? And then even people who are thinking like, should I step into these 5 weeks with Pete? And what will that do? Like, would love to just get your feedback on that, man, your thoughts on that.
Yeah. No, great question. I don't think it's selfish at all. I think to tell the truth is needed. And I can say this, I think you are all heart. You just really want to help people from the bottom of your heart. But not only are you heart, you've got the experience to back it up. Right. So everybody here should know that you're going to get top quality service from not just Pete, but everybody coming to speak. Like he really only brings out the best of the best who can really serve and they have a track record of success. Right. So it's so important. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that, you're making the investment in not just your time, but also investing in energy by being here. And if you want to get to the next level, you're in the right place.
I love that, man. Hey guys, will y'all drop some love for my friend, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Prince EA, and make sure you're following him on all platforms, giving him some love in the chat. Thank you, Prince, for being here, man. Get back to your day. We love you, bro.
So much love. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, I just want to wrap it up today. I am 2 minutes from the airport. This is perfect. I'm going to be hosting and emceeing tomorrow. We have the great Pat Quinn, great John Maxwell tomorrow. We will finish at about the 90-minute mark every day and then take 30 minutes of Q&A back here. And we'll make sure that everybody gets a question answered this week. You'll at least get one, but you got to raise your Zoom hand to do that. Here's what I'm going to say. A lot of you are asking about Prince's purpose bonus. It's bonus for anybody taking advantage of Stage to Scale. So if you go to stage2scale.com, team, please drop that link in the chat. Lots of people have been asking. Stage2scale.com. That bonus will be available throughout the course of the week. Prince's bonus is not one that's going away today. So if we need to earn your trust, we'll earn your trust this week. We'll give you the best 5 days experience. But for those of you that are like Pete, you've already shown me enough value in day one. The one bonus that is a day one bonus is a virtual mastermind with me, for anybody that's taking advantage of day one. And I'm going to really pull back the curtain and speak into the people who are the fast action movers, man. I'm going to speak fast into their business too. So make sure you go to stage2scale.com, team. Let's make sure we have that where everybody can see it. Stage2scale.com. And yes, I am super grateful. Tomorrow, day 2, cannot wait. Make sure you're here, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and lots of love to you guys. Talk to you soon.